What's up, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Utopia. This is Sinulab, and let's get started. So I did do some rewiring from the farm to the bee area underneath here. We've got a little Ender IO item conduit traversing the already existing pathway to keep these two barrels completely stocked with cotton and the sakura wood that we're using. Very good. Very good. Now, this did, however, lead to the discovery that we have a limitation in our farm. The current size is definitely not big enough to sustain any more alvearies. So right now, with that one alveary, this barrel, which I've voided all three of these, they hold 64 stacks, and we'll void after that. Those hold 128 stacks. So we got plenty on reserve. But this cotton has been slowly increasing over the last day and a half. There, there's one more right there. Slowly. Now this, I'm not even growing right now, but lasts for a good long time. The wood goes a long time. The cotton, not so much, making the string for all the frames that the alveary burns through. So one of the things we've got to do on the project list is expand the farm. It is time to expand the farm and get more things growing. We're going to need it, because we are going to build at least 2 more alvearies, and therefore this is going to need to be at least 3 times bigger. So that's a project that we're going to be working on. Maybe this episode. There's another project over there that I want to work on too, and that kind of involves a little bit of AE. I was coming over here to talk about something else. Oh, yes. Another good thing, another very good thing with this 1.0.3 upgrade we just did a couple of days ago is you can now craft the workable genetics machines, which is great. It actually only seems to be able to craft the RF1, which is fine by me. It actually works. It's good because I needed to create an acclimatizer. I've been working on those 3 bees that spawn in the nether, at least the mutation, the demonic, the fiendish, and the sinister. And, we've been having some climate issues with their wanting to be in a hellish environment and this not being a hellish environment. Or it's interesting, even the nether isn't a hellish environment. It's actually considered hot. But I needed to, and I'm still working at acclimatizing some of our friends here. So I've got the fiendish line going, and I think he should be good now. No, needs to be down 3. Got it on the inactive, need it on the active. So what we'd use there is ice, and that's interesting. Where'd that come from? It got a little, what's it called here? Glacial precipitator. Making ice here. We already had water and power coming in here because these guys are using water, right? So that was just a no-brainer. Slap it right down there, good to go. We even got a little bit in here because I can throw this in a magma crucible, and with a, whatever the next thing next to it pumps water into these canisters that I use to switch the humidity in the acclimatizer for the bees. So did I get any there? I don't think I did. Let's. It's close. I should only need. The acclimatizer also works very well. In the last world, the previous version of genetics here, it took a long time to get any movement in either humidity or temperature adjustment, and this one works great. You can just throw a couple in there and it jumps down 1 or 2 levels up or down depending on the direction you're going, so that's very good. Let's just gonna sit that there. We've got monastic just cooking in here, which is great. I took the saffron out because we have got lots of yellow, 2400. I let it run overnight, so we're golden on the colors that we need for the genetics work. And the monastic that's growing there is now giving us wheat and slowly growing nether quartz here. This is about doubled in size since yesterday, so no longer do I need to cart my way over to Micronaut's place and double my nether quartz with his Botanica setup. I've just got bees that are growing it. Excellent. So anyway, there was another bit of news. Oh, I did power, yes, that's right, the leaves. I did power the outside here. It's connected up to the base, so no longer do I need the battery. And I've been working on deciding which greenery to start adding to the outside of the base here. It's about time I did a little terraforming, a little beautification out here. It's just some desert sand and not much going around the perimeter. And I needed to find a leaf that actually still looked green in the desert, as it will over there on the non-desert biome. And really it's looking like this one, the dry rubber leaves. The rest of these birch, that actually stayed the same color, but it's really just not very green. The rest of these look like they're just about to, crumble into ashes. So we're going to go with the rubber tree. So another thing for upgrading the farm is to grow different things at the same time, because we'll have just more choices. I'm going to build some more harvesters and do some more work on the underneath here with all these barrels and whatnot, and something. It's going to need to be reworked because we're going to upgrade the farm. So that's what we're going to work on, and I will come back when I've got some updates. Hey folks, so I did make a slight update here. Originally we started off with the item transfer node getting our cobblestone, and then later on we switched that to the igneous extruder. Well, speaking with Micronaut, it's apparent that even with some multiple world upgrades and some speed upgrades, that the item transfer generation for cobblestone is just way faster. So I went back to that and hooked it up to a bus, storage bus. So right now the AE system uses this as, cobblestone it can grab from. I don't have it storing it in the barrel because that's just constantly being filled up by the item transfer node. But another future project is to do the same thing here for the sand that we generate with our, sag mill, and the gravel that comes as a byproduct for that. And maybe a storage area, same thing here. I've got a bunch of reeds in the AU system that I want to just export and store in a better barrel that voids it after 128. In fact, void all of these things and get those resources out of AE. We're already starting to hit drive capacity on the 4K drives. 4Ks just really aren't that big. I really need to upgrade to 16s, but if there are, mats that we can just store in barrels and access in AE, that's an option too, and a very good one. So for this appetite, get that, keep that in the barrel. I don't even know if I have some in AE. I'm pretty sure I do actually, because it would have gotten some from the quarry from the deep dark, which we still need to move because it's at bedrock. So yeah, this is another future project to kind of work on this area and get this hooked up to AE as a storage bus area, and that's going to require more channels and all that jazz. So that's a future project. We're working on the farm today. Alrighty folks, I think we've got the new footprint for our expansion of the farm here. And one thing that I obtained recently was a somewhat unstable ingot from Micronaut, who's obviously, since we have the deep dark, and make the division signal stuff. And so I made myself a builder's one with that. And this thing is beautiful. As long as I've got the block that I'm aiming at, it will put out an outline and just let you place a bunch of them at a time. If I go to an even longer strip here, it just, it's so much quicker than doing single blocks at a time. So I'm going to fill all this in and keep working. Alrighty folks, this is the new layout we're going to have. It's the same size as the farm down below, and I actually read up on the sprinklers. They cover a 4 in every direction radius as it is, just with one, just like a regular pool of water would. So that's great, one sprinkler per farm. So I'm going to put another one of those over here, and we're going to save the third one for trees and whatnot, because of course we can't do trees down there anymore. Now you might be thinking, well, that's only going to really double the production, and that means 2 alvearies, and then that'll be it. Well, quite honestly, I have not, except for that very first time, been keeping any bone meal in the sprinkler. So of course I looked up to find out the bee that produces the bone meal, and there of course is one. There it was, that makes the bone comb. It's the skeletal queen. Now, we're only about 4 hops from that. And so I'm going to do that, but I'm going to totally do that off camera. I'm sure you guys don't want to see any more about bees. I know I've been on it for a while, but I just love the free maths. But anyway, frugal, we can totally make that. In fact, that was on our list already to do. It requires sinister and modest. We have sinister now, and we've had modest for a while. The desolate. Now I have a couple of hybrids that have arid. I got it from whatever mixing I was doing at that time, and the barren requires arid and a common. So we're going to work on arid, see if we can get that, and of course we've got common, and once we've got that, we can make the barren. So that's good. Then I can automate keeping these things stocked up with bone meal, which is going to require me to at least give up one patch of dirt, because I'll need some sort of tube to connect to the sprinkler directly to keep that populated or filled up. Oh, that's interesting. There's no water in there, but you get a little water animation going over it. That's cute. So yeah, that's the plan. And underneath then, I'm going to get rid of this farm down here eventually. And then underneath we'll have maybe bow down a little level to hide some wires like we did over there, but just one level, because we're going to need the auto planter right underneath that tank, and we'll need some tubes to keep that tank filled, to get the items, seeds and whatnot, into that planter, and to get the items back from the harvester. And we'll have them all meet up in the center here, and maybe have a tube go down that'll process the sludge and all that good stuff. We'll make it look nice. But that is the plan. I'm going to keep working at it and come back when I got good news. Alrighty, folks, making progress here on the farm expansion. I had to run the fluid conduits out here, right, to fill up this tank with water for the sprinkler, and then I realized I needed another fluid conduit for the sludge that would come out of this harvester. And the pressurized fluid conduits that I just made a bunch of aren't the ones I need. I need to make these ender fluid conduits, which are very similar, except the centerpiece is replaced with a vibrant alloy. And so, and how many did that make? That seemed to make more. Oh no, it still makes 8. Oh, this has changed. Okay. Anyway, so I can use the uncrafting table right next to our newly set up XP farm dealy bob, and take these all apart, get some vibrant alloys, and make them into the ender fluid conduits that I need in order to transport more than one type of fluid through the same conduit. Excellent. Let's see, how much does this cost anyway? Only 9. Okay. So yeah, just take that apart, and if I run out of experience, I can just turn around. Yep, see, I need more now. That doesn't stay in there. But whoops. But a single, I guess it has to be an empty hand. Yep, a right click with a right hand, and that quickly just gives us a level. The ore berries would just give you a little bit of a level, slowly less each level until you got to the next level, but this is just one level all the time. Excellent. All right, folks, I'm going to rip the rest of these apart and make some vibrant alloy and make the ender ones. I'll be back. Alrighty, folks, the farm upgrading is coming along. We are definitely keeping stocked on cotton now, which is great because we're using it like crazy. So I've got 2 cotton farms set up, and then the third one is one that we'll use just for the trees. And while I was doing this, I realized that I didn't need 3 planters because the cotton ones don't need to be replanted. They just stayed there. So I just took that out, and now we've just got an item frame up there, or an item conduit getting ready to deliver the bone meal once I get that skeletal bee to produce it. Not that I have the skeletal bee yet, but anyway. So yeah, this is the only one that needs the planter, and I've got that one hooked up to this chest that will move somewhere ultimately. I'm going to redesign some work here, but whatever we place in here will just get dropped off into that planter and planted and harvested and brought back. And that brings us to all of these barrels that are currently, it's just this row that is currently hooked up to the farm. Everything else I've had to swap out when I've been growing various things here. But I want to get them all hooked up to the item conduit so that they're all available, including all of this stuff that comes out of the sludge boiler here, all of this stuff. But I don't want it, but I also want it accessible via my AE system. So I'm thinking about playing around with some P2P tunnels, right? Because this is going to be a lot of channels, all these barrels by themselves, and I don't want to run a bunch of channels that far. I should be able to, in theory, be able to get 32 channels through a P2P only using one channel from the AE. From what I've seen Micronaut do at his base, that seems to be the way to go in expanding the applied energistics network throughout the base. So I'm going to play with that some, do some rearranging here, and get the barrels all lined up, get this kind of organized a little bit, and yeah, the stuff that's out of the sludge boiler I think I'll keep down here. Maybe the dirt I'll bring up. But some of the stuff is already in AE from where we've got it prior, and we'll be able to clear up some drive space because that's always an issue. All right, so that's the update. I'll be back when I've got more. 21,000 K honey drops. That's quite a bit. I have been working to make a bedrockium drum. Mr. Lord Evil J gave me one, way back when, and not until I have tried to construct one myself have I realized just how great of a gift that was. Even the AE system I'm taxing, even with this 16K, or the bigger, the 16K processor, just to make an ingot. Well, I can't even make an ingot by itself in one go round. It takes so much just to make one quadrupled compressed cobblestone. First of all, I've got to wait until I've got enough cobblestone. It looks like I'm stocked up again. I might have to increase that barrel over there that's just doing the item transfer generation. But to make one of these, I needed to get past the 4K CPU and up to a 16K, so it takes up half of that. And yeah, a lot of cobblestone, although it really runs really quick. I've got those, I showed last time, double molecular assemblers here. Although sometimes I've seen it use it, and sometimes I've seen it not use it. And they're both fully upgraded with the speed, so yeah, look at that go. Woohoo! Nice. All right, anyway, that's that. Yeah, so I need to make another bedrockium drum, obviously, to hold all that honey. That's just sitting on a drive here, and that's kind of a waste of hard drive space. We of course do need to leave some honey. I really keep trying to go down here. It doesn't work like that. I really do need to keep some in here as just honey for patterns and whatnot, or crafting. But bulk of that I want to get out of, excuse me, get out of AE and into a drum. 65 million drum would be nice. This has just held the honey that we've squeezed out of the tinted honey drops that we've gotten for the blue and the yellow and the red, and already it's 100,000. That's not going to go a whole long way to hold a bunch more. And 21K, wow, 13K marble. I might want to export that to a better barrel too and do a little storage bus action on that too. Anyway, I just wanted to give an update there. Hey folks, these P2P tunnels are mighty powerful. Just as a point of testing, I've got two interfaces here that I can get to my contents with, and they're just getting pumped into this P2P tunnel. And the P2P tunnels only use one channel, so that's the only thing that's going out there. And back at the main brains of the operation is where I have the receiving end going into this dense cable. You can't see anything because I'm only using 2 channels off of this, and actually I don't have all 32 available to me that the P2P can handle in this configuration. I'll need to do some rewiring to give it a dedicated 32 channels sending down to the farm area. But given this awesomeness, I see myself doing a little rewiring work and sending 32 channels to like the quadrants of the base here. So one for the power, one for my main setup here and there and there, and just 32 channels everywhere without having to run dense cable all over the place, which is really what I was looking to do. I'm not looking forward to it, but as a necessity. But I don't have to do that. I could just make P2P junctions just here at the brains and send them where I need them, and just have the Ender IO mini cable. Where sometimes I might need dense if I need to get more P2P channels going, but yeah, because that will only be 8 channels here and there. That should be fine to start off. There's like 8 places around the base to set up points, so very good, very good. I can also increase the size of this ME controller. It's a multi-block structure. It's kind of like why I put the glass here to begin with, just to give it that cuboid shape that I'll give it, I'll expand it to. I might raise it up or down or both, or actually I'm going to do some reworking with the way this is laid out, but yeah, lots of channels that we can send remotely with the P2Ps is going to make everything so much better. All right. Alrighty, folks, check it out. We have got it done. The lower floor down here looking a little snazzy if I don't say so myself. And thanks to this P2P tunnel, we're piping 15 channels through one. Love it. We've got not export buses, we've got storage buses on the barrels here, all configured with a priority of 1 so that anytime we drop it in AE, it'll try and fill up these chests first. I have them all upgraded to 128 stacks and voiding after that, so that should be plenty for all of these resources. And I even pulled all of the copies of those resources out of AE to make sure that this is all representative of the stuff that we have. None of these are lingering in the AE system taking drive space. So that's excellent. I want to do that all over the place, with these large quantity resources that can sit in a barrel and just use a storage bus to access it, so we don't have to keep just making hard drive space. So yeah, very interesting P2P dealy bob. That is really powerful. Now, from what I understand, though, the channels that come out of the P2P can't then again be split through another P2P, so you can't recursively do it. But that's fine. That's fine. Just make your controller bigger, and you get another 32 channels per side, and you're good to go. So yeah, a little factory block chiseling here. So we've got to stay behind this line, and you're okay. If you get a little close to here, you might get a little nauseous. It's not really running right now because it doesn't have any sludge, but once something gets harvested or whatnot, you'll get some sludge. So the upper floor here, I think I'm just going to leave it like this. I was toying with the idea of moving the barrels out in like separate rows and getting all fancy again with export buses, which, I will have at least these 3 on export buses, but I think I'm just going to leave them the way they are right now. Leave this chest right here too. I'm going to finish up the bottom of this, make it look nice, get rid of that scaffolding, and make the top side a little better somehow. Don't really know yet what, but we'll get to that. But we got plenty of cotton and plenty of wood. It's just that stack that saplings that I threw in there not too long ago gave us another 25 stacks of wood, so we're golden there. And those barrels with the cotton and the wood are 128 stacks, and these are 64 voided. I think I'll swap these out. I'll unvoid these. I'll break the upgrades out of them. Make those 64, just a regular barrel, and then make these 128 and voided like we did with all of these barrels down here. So like that. And that'll get rid of the wood, any duplicate wood that I have already in the AE system. I know I have, this is just in the AE system. We'll get that into barrels and get that on a storage bus too, because we have more wood here and apples and saplings we could have access to. And I was thinking that I wasn't going to need seeds anymore really, right? Because I've got the bees that make my wheat, but no, I may actually need seeds for seed oil for stuff. You never know, so we'll keep all this and get them all in storage buses and get them all upgraded and voided so that we don't ever have any clogging backup. But anyway, folks, that's the update, and it's raining. It was nice working down here. I didn't have any rain to deal with. And I'll get this out of here eventually. This is the Steve's Factory Manager making my berry medley. And medley, yeah, I did pronounce it right that time. We're going to get a better food eventually. These are going to last a while, but when they run out, I'm not going to replant berries. I'm going to, by then, hopefully have a cow farm going, with a auto spawner and whatnot, and just getting steak. Anyway, folks, I'll be back when there's more to update. Alrighty, folks, so this is how we're going to hide the wiring on the underside of our farm expansion. Nothing too fancy, but nothing too plain either. So getting into more of those sliced up glowstone chisels. They just look nice. Give some light somewhere. And so like that, got rid of the scaffolding, of course, and it looks much nicer. Now, I'm not really going to do too much with the up here yet, because I don't really have anything in mind, and I don't want to just throw something up here and like that. So we'll come back to that. And I'm going to hold off on wiring this with the storage buses until I get, I think, the base rewired with AE's point-to-points in all of the quadrants of the base, and wiring and channels, and get that stuff streamlined. But these are all hooked up. I did swap these around. I got the 64 just by themselves barrels over there, and the 128 void ones here. And we're doing fine on wood. I just threw another stack of saplings in not too long ago, and they just grow fast and got chopped down, and there we are. We're basically full, so we should be good with string and wood for a good long time for our bees. Just a quick update on the bees. We did get demonic, and we were actually running that all day today and yesterday, and I think I've got something like 2,000 glowstone now. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, 2285 glowstone. Beautiful. Had the monastics going for a while, 1300 nether. Nothing too wrong with that. Can't complain. So we're working on bees. We're working toward the skeletal. I'm just starting to get a new queen with arid to mix with common to get the baron, and start that 3-hop to get to skeletal. But anyway, folks, I think between this episode and next, I am going to be working on AE. I need to really expand the main controller here, because we've got 32 channels per side, and that's only 6 sides on a cube, and I've got 8 quadrants that I want to do. Well, I guess quadrants isn't really the right term then if it's 8, but there's 8 areas I want to set up some P2P positions for channels, and it's going to require at least another controller block to give me another 6 sides of 32 channels. Or actually, no, I guess we'll have a total of 10 sides, because they need to be touching each other, so we can't use that side. But anyway, folks, that's going to do it for this episode. We did get our farm expanded, and we learned some good stuff about applied energistics and how to expand the network with channels, and like that. So I hope you enjoyed, and have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.